we saw him yesterday. He's such a wonderful screen presence, and you can feel that he has this wonderful soul.
He did. I love John Belushi. He was a wonderful, warm, sweet, very funny person, and a very good actor. You never, unfortunately, John liked drugs, and on Animal House he was clean. And he had a brutal schedule because he was still doing Saturday Night Live. So he would arrive in New York on Thursday. Friday he would rehearse, Saturday he would rehearse, and they'd be Saturday Night Live on TV. And then Sunday morning he would fly from New York to Los Angeles, fly from Los Angeles to Portland, Oregon, and then be driven to the set on Animal House, and he'd get there around 11:30 Monday morning. And I'd have him the rest of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Wednesday afternoon he would be driven to Portland, he'd fly to Los Angeles, and fly to New York. And he did that 3 times on the movie, so he was under a brutal schedule, but he was clean. I made him promise, and he was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And what people forget was he wasn't fat. You look, he was barrel-chested, but John was a football star in high school and stuff. He was very athletic, and like many large men, extremely graceful. You know, like look at someone like Oliver Hardy or Fatty Arbuckle or Jackie Gleason. I mean, those guys really can dance and really have an elegance and a lightness to them. Unfortunately, his drug habit, especially on the Blues Brothers, became deadly. And something I learned through bitter experience, when someone's addictive, do any of you know any alcoholics or junkies or anything? You probably know some alcoholics and don't realize it, but there's an interesting thing about addiction, which is you can't help the person. Ultimately, you can't help them. You can try, and you can break your back trying to help them, and break your heart trying to help them. But the only way they're going to survive their addiction is if they do it. And, you know, it's very hard to accept that. And I'm still angry at John Belushi for dying. I mean,
You still paid him a wonderful homage in Blues Brothers 2000 when you had, what 3 Blues Brothers, to make up for one that was done?
No, well, that Blues Brothers 2000 was a difficult thing because the studio executive who gave us the green light, Danny and I, the green light on the script we'd written, left the studio and was replaced by a woman studio executive who hated the project and hated rhythm and blues and hated us, hated everything. And but she couldn't cancel the movie because it had been given a green light. But what she could do is fuck it, which she did by insisting on rewrites. The first thing was nobody could swear. So right away, that was like, what do you mean they can't swear? Nope, no one can swear. And then you have to have a child. It was like, what? And then you had to have a black blues brother. And then, I forgot, did she put all, I mean, by the time the script had been rewritten and rewritten and rewritten, I said to Danny, John Goodman has no character. She watched the movie, he's standing there. What the fuck? I mean, what is this movie? She's destroyed. And it was, Danny is wonderful, and he is evangelical about blues music and rhythm and blues. And he gets, John calls him a motorhead because he's, no pun intended, he is driven. Danny's idea of a good time is driving from New York and Los Angeles and back in 50 hours, which he's done many times. Loud, Elmore Leonard playing, But he is passionate about the music, and he was very concerned because several artists died, and he said, we have to make another movie and put more people on film. They must be documented. And I said, yeah, but Danny, the movie's terrible. We must put these people. And so what it ended up being was kind of this limp movie. But what I will say in its defense is the music is fantastic. So I strongly advise you to get the soundtrack album. And you could watch the movie on TV if you want. And there's some amazing car stunts. But in terms of performers and the music, it's funny because it was very difficult because the studio, I mean, that movie cost nothing. You'd be shocked how little that movie was, under $10 million. And we had to shoot it in Toronto, and we had to do all these things to just try to do it. But because of new technology and digital advancements, almost all the music in it and singing, all live. 90% of it is live. In the first Blues Brothers, John Lee Hooker was live on Maxwell Street. And James Brown's vocals were live in the church. But not everything else was recorded and then done to playback like a movie musical is. In the Blues Brothers 2000, every song is live. And if you know what a feat that is, it's amazing, especially to get that coverage. And the music is great, especially if you ever get the record, listen to Dr. John's version of Season of the Witch. It's brilliant.
Unfortunately, we're already running out of time. And time is really flying, so I think we can take a couple of questions from the floor. Gentleman at the back. Wait for the mic, please.
Hi, John.